Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. Here we are in round 3 for the week, and we've got Phantom Knight on the left versus Dino on the right. My friend Dan here on the left piloting the Phantom Knight deck. You guys have seen him on the podcast before, and I think he also had a first place profile, as well as our Dino player too, the one and only Big Killer Jeff. So let's see how this one plays out. And as our Phantom Knight player gets started here with the cloak into boots, let's take a look at the poll results. I see, guys, who you thought would not win this round here, and about 1.6 thousand votes, and a large majority of the votes going to Dino. So a lot of you guys thinking Phantom Knight is going to win this match. Let's see if you guys are correct. Of course, this is post Burst of Destiny, so the Phantom Knight deck is on the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, and with it all the shenanigans that you can do now with Dagda and Scythe, making the deck just way much like more potent than it was before, because not only are you ending on a really solid board that's, you know, relatively hand trap proof and has a ton of follow-up, but now you just get an extra deck lock on top of that for, well, really no reason. So we're going to see him go into Cherubini, dump Seer revives Graph, activating Snack and American Sniper. Does not hit one of the other cards out of his hand, and Snack will get summoned to the board instead. So now we're going to go ahead and see him link 4 into Appaloosa for 3 materials. And I believe he has Stain Greaves in hand as well. Now he's going to go ahead and revive the effect of Seer here to revive the Cherubini. Don't want to forget that. And now Boots effect to go ahead and search out Shade Brigandine. And see what the play is going. I think he has a Torn Scale in hand as well. I could be wrong. But we're going to see him activate Shade. Shade will summon itself alongside a copy of the Stain Greaves. Now linking off Shade and Cherubini. Nope, linking off the Stain Greaves and Cherubini here into Rusty. Rusty effect here to go ahead and send a Phantom Knight card to set a Phantom Knight Spell Trap from the deck. Directly from the deck. Pretty nice card there. So he's going to go ahead and send Gloves to set a Fog Blade. And Fog Blade tends to be a pretty good match, as some of you pointed out in the comments of that poll that I made in the community tab. Fog Blade is a pretty good card against Miscellaneous Saurus, because the activated effect of Fog Blade is to target the monster, and the continuous effect is to negate the monster and make it so it can attack. So, like, you can actually still Fog Blade dinosaur monsters even under Miscellaneous Saurus. I don't know the exact, like, wording for it and how to describe it, but I know it has to do with Fog Blade actually, like, it's a continuous, like, effect to negate and make it so it cannot attack. It's not an activated effect, so the card is still negated at the end of the day. But he's going to go ahead and use the Stain Greaves Engrave to bring out the Torn Scale. And he's going to link into Dagda here. And he's going to activate Fusion Destiny and also chain Dagda in response. Because I think anytime you activate a card or effect, Dagda can activate its effect to go ahead and set an artifact directly from the deck. So he's going to go ahead and set Artifact Scythe. Pretty crazy, right? And he's going to go ahead and dump the Digidasher. And alongside of it, the Celestial. Tons of follow-up in the graveyard for the following turn. Potential to draw 2. And he's going to go ahead and summon out the DPE Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, fresh out of Burst of Destiny. So, not only does he has Appo for 3, he has Fog Blade, plus a extra deck lock here at any point. He chooses to use Phoenix Enforcer's effect to go ahead and destroy the Dagda, and also destroy the Scythe, and then Scythe effect, of course, will activate. So we're going to see our Dino player lead with a Fossil Dig here, and we're going to see him chain DPE in response to destroy Dagda and then destroy Scythe, and then Scythe effect will activate on a new chain. And Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer says destroy 1 card you control and 1 card on the field. So he does not have to destroy Phoenix Enforcer. I know some people might think that, but it can actually destroy 1 card you control and any card on the field on top of that. And then, of course, once the Fossil Dig resolves. Scythe will activate to summon itself from grave and activate its effect on the field to make it so his opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the remainder of the turn. And he also has another Fossil Dig on top of that, which is pretty huge. So being able to search out miscellaneous source from the deck, and on top of that, a copy of the Soul-Eating Oviraptor. And now this is, you know, a pretty good board still to try and play through if you're Dino. You know, Appaloosa with Fogblade, but, you know, well, speaking of Appaloosa, it's going to be completely turned off by a copy of Imperm. Now activating Miscellaneous Source in the hand to get that blanket protection on all dinosaur monsters from the activated effects of the opponent's cards during the main phase, I believe. And now he's going to go ahead and summon out the Animadorned Archosaur here, and he's going to go ahead and destroy the Baby Ceros or the Petty Ranodon from the hand. And I was talking to our Phantom Knight player here, and he said he made a huge mistake in not Fogblading the Archosaur, because that gave him access to a double evolution pill, which is rather problematic, and also gave him access to Pank, which is also problematic. And yes, you still can Fogblade monsters even under Miscellaneousaurus. That is just how it works. It's a very strange ruling, but again, it has to do with you know, Fogblade being a continuous like effect. You can still target things that are unaffected, which, you know, Fogblade does, and then the continuous like effect applies to make it so it is negated and cannot attack. But already at this point, things are a little too far gone. He's able to go ahead and normal summon the Oviraptor here, search out a copy of UCT, and of course we already know he has double evolution pill in hand. He won't be able to link into the Linktree he tried to do there because Scythe is, you know, protecting him from there, but that is one UCT. He's going to use that effect to go ahead and destroy another baby from hand to go ahead and set everything. Baby effect engraved to go ahead and activate right now. And what is probably one of the best, most competitive end boards in the game right now, absolutely being just made irrelevant. Pill banishing Wind Barrier statue and the Baby Cerosaurus from the graveyard to go ahead and summon out another UCT. And this is just going to be game plenty. And if it's not, he's got double UCT and a Logia or a Dolka to wrap up the following turn. So yeah, Dino taking it clean and cut there. Our PK player definitely did misplay. Should have fired that Fogblade on the Animadorn, but was probably a little flustered at how broken the Dino player opened to remember to do that. It is what it is. It happens to the best of us. So as these guys get ready to start in game 2, I want to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. If you guys are interested in picking up amazing sleeves, you know, for your main deck, or double sleeves for your extra deck, like the sleeves you guys have seen me use in the past. They've got binders, deck boxes, dice, you know, play mats, all that amazing stuff. Check them out at the link below, and don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below. A small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back in the channel, and it helps out a ton, especially for cards you're already going to be buying. And here we are in game 2, getting started. Our Phantom Knight player obviously opting to go first, going into his Cherubini play. Not the most optimal route. I think it boots Kagamucha Knight. Not the most optimal start, but, you know, a start nonetheless. And then Seer Effect to go ahead and revive the Cherubini, importantly, to get that Link Fodder on grave. And I think our Dino player may have a response, and he does, and that of the Nibiru, the Primal Being, a card that I absolutely despise this current format, and is really only catching our Phantom Knight player down bad here is because he just did not open up well. So the Nibiru tends to be a hard punish here. But normally, yeah, he did not open well because he also has the Dasher in hand too. But normally, Phantom Knight is a deck that can play through a card like Nibiru with relative ease, especially if the graveyard is loaded up with plenty of extenders. Like if he got into his Cherubini with like boots and you know, Torn Scales, you know, he could still keep going here, hands down. There's really no debate. We could still get into at least DPE and, you know, more follow up on top of that. So. But you know, I still firmly believe Nibiru is a card that only punishes fair decks, and it does not do the job it was intended to do and makes playing anything tier 1 or tier 2 or lower, you know, just extremely soul crushing sometimes. I don't know, maybe you guys can relate to that. But either way, we're going to see our PK player continue here, activating Cloak Engraved to go ahead and search out from the deck. Can search out any PK. So I think he's going to go ahead and actually search out Torn Scale. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Give yourself really strong follow-up. He has Torn Scale plus Wielder. Not bad follow-up whatsoever. Like having that gas in the tank for your following turn going to be really good. He also has Droplet set too. So, you know, that's going to make it a little bit harder for his opponent to try to absolutely OTK him. You got to love the token too. Nothing more just like that says like absolute BM than a token with your opponent's face on it. Especially it's such a face as that one. Like, oh my god, it's just, if you go to our locals, you know that's the Jeff token. That is the token that you fear. That's the token that gives you nightmares. But he's gonna go ahead and normal summon Oviraptor here to start things off. And you know, do you drop that? Probably not. Because if he's got Misk in hand, well, I mean, if he's got Misk, he can't respond anyways if he's going to pitch a monster, so. But you never know if Misk, you know, hitting Misk, or not Misk, hitting Oviraptor is going to be the thing that actually ends their turn, because oftentimes they still can have Extenders, of course. You know, they could have Misk in hand still, pitch, you know, after the fact, you know, get Animadorn, pop a baby, get a Search of Pill, you know, summon out a, you know, another Oviraptor, summon out a Giant Rex. And then just like that, they have UCT plus Dolka or Logia, and at that point, you're kind of just caught down tremendous. And you're just kind of, you know, shaking in your boots, if you will. But we're going to see him actually dump the Overtext Coatlas here. And not something like Miscellaneousaurus or, you know, any other card. We're going to see him dump Coatlas, which I don't know how standard that is in most, you know, meta mainstream builds of Dino, because our Dino player is not playing anything like that. I believe he's on like 48 cards. Just like his own special concoction, and some weeks it just absolutely takes names. I don't know what to say. It just is what it is, right? Gold Sark in hand too, going to go ahead and banish the Giant Rex from the deck, and go ahead and summon it as a result for being banished. And we know he has the double evolution pill in hand because of the Coatlas, and he's going to go ahead and Ixie summon into the Evolzar Logia, which is basically a walking solemn judgment. But it does have to detach 2 materials, and then banish Coatlas and the Wind Barrier statue yet again from the hand to be able to go ahead and summon out a UCT directly from the deck. So, yeah, things getting out of hand rather quickly. It's just like that. UCT Dolka, UCT Logia, not hard to get into whatsoever. He'll run over the token and take a whopping 6,500 damage here. And on top of that, the opponent's going to set one and pass. And our PK player unfortunately draws into another Torn Scales. Hand shuffling intensifies at this point. That's how you know he's starting to sweat. When the hand shuffling gets a little bit faster, that's how you know you're like, oh god, I just hope whatever that set isn't too good. So he, of course, is going to normal summon the Torn Scale. He is going to attempt to negate the summon with Logia. You do have to burn the Fog Blade there, or not the Fog Blade, the Droplet, the Drippy Dropper, discarding another Torn Scales, and the Digidasher to go ahead and negate and zero out, or not zero out, but have and negate the Logia and the UCT, the 2 known threats on the field currently. And at this point, you're really just hoping that set card is not an Imperm or anything like that. But odds are it probably is. Summoning out the Psychic Wielder from the hand, the Psychic Weed Dealer to go ahead and go and make a rank 3 play. Summoning out the Break Sword. And Break Sword could give him a lot of room to play here. He doesn't even have another PK name in Grave. So he couldn't even use the Revive effect right now, if I recall correctly. But his opponent's going to Imperm on summon regardless. Unless you can bring out 2 of the same name with the Break Sword, then yes, he could technically do that because he does have 2 copies of Torn Scale. But I don't really know how much that is doing here. This is just mainly a method to get into Zeus and just pray that it's enough to, you know, give you some follow-up. But, like, hope you just draw another card next turn. Hopefully, like, any Phantom Knight monster whatsoever. But he's just going to go into the battle phase here. Is swing over the halved Logia. Normally, it is at 23, I believe. Or, no, normally it's at 24, I think Logia is. So I'll be able to run over that since it is halved. Main phase 2 Downard, and also into Zeus. So a nice format Zeus there. You know, try as he will to keep into the game. You know, keep himself into the game. Going to detach the Break Sword and the Torn Scale. And pass turn. There's really not much else he can do. I think he will be able to take advantage of the Digidasher next turn if he's able to survive, of course. But he's got Kaiju plus Fossil Dig. Oh my goodness, his back's got to be hurting at this point. Yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Dino taking a swift 2-0 here. If you guys want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up down on the bottom of the screen. And last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members. And they are Cadillacs84, Pony Start, Key Sitter, Sweeter0226, and Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys so much, as always, for your extremely generous support of this channel.